3, 2, 1, and
What is going on, guys? We are back for another beautiful episode of The Guardian Report.
what is up, everybody? How we living today?
No intro today
Beautiful Monday.
because it's all messed up.
But
We are back.
but we have Dr. Pepper, and we have
We got some bangs. We got some good beer to try. And we've got a special guest. All right, guys. So for those of you guys who are not big on the Instagram game, you may not know him. But if you are involved at any point on the IG, you've probably seen his name. You've probably seen his post. He's one of the biggest content creators on the gram for sure. No doubt. We've got That Evolved Jedi live on the show. Bring him on, Lauren. Bring him on, Lauren.
Bring him on!
There he is. What is going on, my man?
What's up, dudes? How's it going?
Going
An
good.
intro.
So why don't you introduce yourself to the people for those who may not know you?
I'm just a dude who plays Destiny and posts some stuff on Instagram sometimes, and I've been doing that for a few years and just love the game. I guess I'm known for bending the truth and for golden gun stuff and having a lot of seals. That's about it. So.
Hell yeah. So if you guys don't follow him, definitely check him out. It's right in the title, at That Evolved Jedi, and the man is an absolute beast. He has every single seal in the game, like max triumph score. Like what are you at right now?
Not max triumph. I think I'm at 127 or no 127,500 or something.
Holy
And
hell.
what's your potential max? Because I know like once you start getting up there, some people have different limits depending on like
Yeah.
which seasons and stuff. Or
Oh, they released some new triumphs on Tuesday. I don't know what the exact new max is, but I think it's like 128,500 or something, or low 128,000 right now.
yeah.
So
That's dope. Yeah, so
Yeah.
this guy,
So
this guy has
close.
played every aspect of the game, an absolute beast, and we're excited to have him on to run through the topics with us today. We got some good ones.
thanks, guys. I appreciate it.
Yeah, no doubt.
Thank you.
Let's see who's in the chat.
let's do a little, Lauren, if you want to hit the camera, let's do a little
A little
brew
Brewski
segment.
action.
So first brew today, we've got 2SP West Coast style IPA called Eastwood.
Eastwood.
Look how beautiful that can is. Look at it. So great.
We got Mattbot. We got MW Missile. We got Duke Bigums. We got Sarah. I think she's new to the stream. Welcome, Sarah, to the Wagon. I don't think I've seen that name. Probably from Evolved Jedi, because she said, "Bring out that sexy Jedi."
Can we get him in the
That girl can raid her ass off.
What'd you say?
Sarah can raid her ass off. I'll tell you that right now.
Oh, we got a raid beast.
Raid
That's what I like
beast.
to hear.
Yeah, can you put him in-
picture in picture. Yeah, picture in picture. Boom, boom, boom.
Boom, there we
Boom,
go.
Look at that. Look at the production
Nice.
value.
And we got Dominius. What's up, Dominius? How you doing?
How we doing? We got people in the chat. So let's get right into it. Topic number 1. We've got Farmable Raids. So for those, was it this week that this happened?
Yeah,
Came
Tuesday.
out? Yeah, so it came out this week. Basically, all the old raids that are going to be sunset or vaulted will now be, they're farmable now. So you can go through and get loot on repeat. And that's the 5 raids that are going away, which is all the Leviathan raids, Scourge,
And Crown.
and Crown.
Yep.
So pretty dope. And they're obviously involved with the titles in the Moments of Triumph,
Yep.
which we're going to do. And that brought up a question: should all raids be farmable
Moving forward.
moving forward? Dutch, you want to start this one off for us?
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing with things being farmable, right? Like, yeah, it's great to be able to go in and farm the same raid over and over again. Sometimes I feel like if I want to get like a certain roll on a gun, then I have to do it on my hunter, then do it on my warlock, and do it on my titan. And by the time I'm on my titan, I'm just like, ugh, like I don't want to play on my titan. It's my
Over
like,
it.
yeah, I don't know how to jump on a titan. Like, I'm awful at that. So, like, it being farmable is cool because then you could the replayability for one character at a time would be awesome. But at the same time, then people could just go in and farm those raids over and over and over again, and you have people, you know, hardcore raiders will be in there 24/7, and next thing you know,
Sarah be out there.
yeah, Sarah will be out there raiding.
Farming
so,
them up, 50
yeah,
a 50 a day.
What are your thoughts on that, Jedi?
I think that Bungie the last few seasons has made a lot of different like weapon rolls very easily farmable, right? You think of like Menagerie, you think of the Sundial, and I just think about raids there's one thing to farm loot and farm rolls, like you were talking about, Dutch. And there's the other thing of farming pinnacle gear. I don't. So for me, I don't think you should be able to farm pinnacle gear because, and I don't. And Bungie's not going to do that ever because it ruins the pacing that they're trying to set.
Yep.
They release new content, right? If gigs of the world can just go farm the raid 20 times and be max gear score on day one, right?
Not much more to do after.
I think you have to limit. Yeah, I mean, I think you limit the pinnacle gear, but I don't see any issue with farming Garden of Salvation to try to get a better pulse rifle roll or try to get a better hand cannon roll or whatever,
Anything besides
just have it drop at light. Yeah, have it drop at your light, and then you're just in there, and then you're encouraging people, maybe help others, get in the raid and get their rewards for maybe the first time.
Yeah, some kind of reward system for.
Yeah, and I mean, I know for me it took me 48 to 50 runs to get my Anarchy finally. And it wasn't until they increased the limit to 50% after you get 20 clears before I finally got it. So like,
I like that system a lot though. With the how they added that in, so like you're not at the same percentage on your 50th run. Like by 50 runs, if you can't get a gun, and then you got like me, I literally went in there and got it my first day back to Destiny in like 9
you had
months.
It before I did.
They carried me through a Scourge. Literally, they were just like, let's just carry. It was my first day back to Destiny in like 9 months. He was like, let's just carry Dev through a Scourge. I'm like, okay. Literally got it. And him and Duke, who's another one of our homies, neither of them have had it. And there's like 50 runs, and I got it like first try. Just like,
so those
this
raids
gun's
being
sick.
farmable would be sick for getting, Terrorball, Anarchy. I know a lot of people still haven't gotten the Raid Sparrow. Like our buddy Cap, he's probably on his like 40th clear and still hasn't gotten the Scourge Raid Sparrow. So
yeah, me neither. Yeah, I mean, that's where the farm, and I like it more. I think on the older raids, where it promotes playability and it makes more sense. I don't think I'd like to see it when like a new raid drops, because then you could go through, get the God rolls week one. Like there is something, like he said, like the playability and the way that Bungie has it set up, coming back week after week. You know what I mean? Tuesday raid night.
Yep.
It's like the dream. You know what I mean? That's what we're working for. So
and I definitely did like that they made some of those exotics more deterministic. So if you're you go in on your 5th, 10th, 20th time. I personally had both ends of the spectrum. It took me 50 loot runs to get my 1,000 voices. Then I got Anarchy on a day one clear. So I was like probably one of the first people to actually get the Anarchy. It was on my first clear.
yeah.
Oh, it was like totally, ran the
ends of
gamut
the
for me
spectrum.
in terms of how lucky I got.
You can speak from experience. It's very disheartening when you're like really want that like 1K voices and you're just in there every week and you're like, this has got to be the run. It's got to be this run. And then
Or for like Anarchy, like it's the best gun in the game. It's not even like a gun that you want. It's like if you don't have it, especially like if you're trying like solo flawless, like on the Prophecy dungeon, if you don't have Anarchy, like the difficulty level goes way up, and it's not like no matter how much you play, you're not increasing your chances of like getting it. You know what I mean? It's just completely RNG week after week. So
it's a delicate balance, right? Because at the same time, you don't like. I always feel like that element of chasing something and never having like the perfect one is a reason why we keep going back. It's a reason why we played one Crucible so much to farm for an Aya's Luna, right? Mm-hmm. I think there should be some activities that have a really long tail and are very difficult to get, like the hardest stuff. So that's a challenging thing that Bungie has to kind of balance when they're designing all this stuff.
No one's going to be happy. People are going to be like, but at the same time, like when you did finally get your Anarchy on your 50th run, like how like rewarding does that feel? Like, you know what I mean? Like you put all the work in.
Oh, it was amazing.
It's like, you know what I mean? It's like way better of a feeling than like just getting it your first or second run, and it's just like cool.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It holds that prestige level.
It's comparable to Two-Man and Callus with white gear.
Awesome. So cool. Moving on.
It's the lootgasm, right?
Yeah, exactly. Lootgasm. I'm gonna start using it.
That's awesome. I'm definitely saying that. 65 last wish, no 1K. Jesus. Dropped Friday on run 20 something. 14 crowns, 0. Yeah, damn. MW Missile needs some of your RNG, Dutch.
Yeah, I gotta watch.
Just
I
not
gotta
your
force
Anarchy. But cool. Moving on. Next topic, we got the new exotic trace rifle. We'll let Jedi take this one. What are your thoughts on the new exotic?
I don't even know what to say about that fucking thing. It's like the weirdest gun in the game. Does shred in Crucible. There's a couple people on Instagram using it in momentum control this week and
Grissom?
just
I'm
going
Grissom.
nuts with it. Yeah, Grissom, you know him. Just a weird gun. And, you know, we talked a little bit in the pre-show about like how good is it going to be in the end game, and I don't necessarily think that every gun, you know, every exotic needs to like have a place in the end game, you know, to be viable. Maybe this is just a gun that you fuck around with and have fun with in strikes. I don't know. I'm sure someone has done the damage testing on it, and bottom line is if there's a way, mini Dado here, right, with the data. There's a way to do a shitload of DPS to a boss with it. People will figure out ways to do it. So
Yeah, I saw.
I just think it's a weird gun.
Yeah, no doubt. People, we saw people like they did obviously the Callus test and things like that, and they were like Glad's team was doing it where they had one person pick up the orb, right, and then they stood and did the guard like damage over time to add because they all had the catalyst at that point, and it adds like that damage like debuff almost like a divinity or whatever, and they still had to two-plate it. So I mean, it's not like anywhere. It was a long two-plate, you know what I mean? Yeah. So it's definitely not anywhere near the high end, and that was probably in like the best, most optimal team setup. It's like him, Sweat, like whoever else, like, so you know what I mean? It's definitely not gonna fall on the top of the meta for damage or anything like that. But like you said, dude, I thought it was a lot of fun. I'd like to see more exotics like this that don't like when some exotics come out and they're just kind of trash. They go in my vault. You know what I mean? Like this one at least had some playability, like you said, some fun for sure, some different mechanics. And I saw actually, I think MTash put out a video or something. Someone did, and they were just saying how like if you had say a new light player that doesn't necessarily have good guns, like yeah, of course you're not going to use it over like an Anarchy or
they don't have Divinity, they don't have
like
Anarchy.
That. But if they don't have any like good exotics, so they don't have anything to use, by creating that orb for them, they can actually do a lot with the orb. Gives them the survivability if they're having trouble. So he was saying like almost as like a support weapon if you're playing with like lower tier players, to create that orb. And I thought that was like a unique take on it.
Yeah,
and definitely I think gives some different play styles, and I'd like to see more of that to just pull out like different mechanics and things like that, and definitely hope to see more unique stuff like that. Well,
yeah, I mean,
let us know in the chat too while we're.
It went straight in my vault. All right, as soon as I got it, I shot the eyes. It went right in the vault. I put my Anarchy on, and I put my Mountaintop in, and I went back into the Grandmaster or into the Master Nightfalls and started this. I don't even want to play with that thing.
I did try to use it in a Grandmaster, and it was like
the 1080s. We went into a 1080.
Yeah, not the Grand.
And that was the hardest 1080 I'd done. When you guys were using that gun, dude, I was literally like biting my fingernails off,
like,
bro.
Easy Divinity combos.
Yeah, it was awful.
Hard carry.
I'm like running in with the fucking ball, trying to like.
I'm like putting Divinity on him, and you slam dunking, going Kobe
my
in there.
Orb's like just dead on like 3 champions.
Yeah, dude.
How many revives did you have that strike?
A lot.
Too many.
Yeah.
Like 12, I think.
And we were playing with
like
we were playing with this guy Pepper, who doesn't really play the game much.
hasn't
So
played much at
we were
all
like trying to
recently.
2-man it basically, and God.
We got 23 in the chat. Say what's up, guys. Welcome to the Wagon. Thanks for tuning in.
Yeah,
Got
we
a
have
special
Duke
guest.
said it might not be meta necessarily at the moment, but it's nice to get a different functioning kind of gun. So he definitely agrees with you on that one. And Power Riding the Kisser said, yeah, it breaks the mold of what we're used to. Super fun to use. So it is, like you guys said, it is fun to have a new gun in there. I don't want to shit on it completely, but
I mean, it's not taking the meta slot when you're going into like the high end activities, but I think it's.
You know, the other thing about it real quick is I liked that the quest took longer than 15, 20 minutes, even though it wasn't like my favorite exotic quest. I tend to like when things have to be earned just in general.
100%.
Makes me feel like more like I'm playing Destiny 1, where you had to earn your swords, you had to earn your Touch of Malice. Like there wasn't stuff just given away like Devil's Ruin, like a literal 15-minute
Like
quest.
run around
So
a Crucible map for
all right,
5 minutes.
yeah, I remember distinctly when Fellwinter's Lie came out, and you put a post up on Instagram, and you were like, "Why was this not earned through Iron Banner or something? Something like that."
Yeah.
Big.
My
fan
thoughts
as well.
on that are well documented.
Yeah. No, I agree. I was pretty pumped on it, and I thought it was very. Were the Marinettes always in the game before we move on? Like, I don't ever remember seeing those like little.
Yeah, they were there during a boss phase, I think.
But they weren't like the little public events, like the ones you went around and killed. Like, I don't ever remember seeing them. I'm not sure if they were in the game before or not, but But that was like fun to go around and do those for like the first time ever. Yeah, they weren't like necessarily challenging or whatever, but it was a change of pace compared to like a lot of the other bullshit we've had to do.
Yeah, like he said, Devil's Ruin, right? That was a prime example of just like
bullshit.
Yeah.
Literal bullshit. But no, I agree. Completely agree. Yeah, cool. Moving on. We've got the evacuation. So, you know, Devil's what?
Preparation.
Well, I called it the evacuation. Because the preparation is kind of some bullshit that you want to talk about some bullshit.
Yeah, I agree. 100%.
So, yeah, I don't know. So, you know, not Devil's Ruin, holy hell. Ruinous Effigy kind of stole the show this week, but there was another quest that got put out as well from Shaxx that I'm glad it did come out, and because we were running around doing all the stuff anyway for the shard lights to all the different planets, and you can do them side by side. So if you guys haven't done the exotic trace rifle quest, make sure you get that one too and kind of do it at the same, because I don't think we've seen the last of that. It kind of seemed like a setup, but basically a quest came out, and then they gave us the, what's it called, the
Militia's Birthright?
Militia's Birthright halfway through it, masterwork, but it's getting sunsetted next season. And it was halfway through, and then we got nothing at the end.
Yeah, it's kind of weird.
I was like, what the fuck is going on? So, I mean, I don't, maybe you got some insight on it, Jedi, but were you in the same boat as us with that, or what are your thoughts?
It was kind of it seemed like a Bungie busy work quest. Not really compelling. My favorite thing that they did before content drops was back in D1 when you had the wolves prowling and stuff like that before the House of Wolves came out. Like they injected some of the mechanics that weren't out yet, like into the old game. I wish they would bring some of that stuff back. This quest was just like whatever. It didn't take too long. It wasn't that hard. You just had to go to 4 planets, do some stuff. Didn't have a huge problem with it, but it was weird that it awarded the reward in the middle of the quest, and it was just a weird deal. I don't.
And it would have been cool because I know Militia's Birthright is kind of like the poor man's mountaintop, if you will. It would have been cool if they would have dropped that
at level
at like this year's season, like so that gun you could take that forward and
could carry it for a couple more seasons.
Yeah, but dropping it at a Forsaken value just made no sense to me. I don't understand why they did that. But the cool thing about this, though, was the amount of, what are the upgrade materials for the prismatic recaster? What are those called?
The altered element.
Yeah, altered element. I ended up with like 5,000 altered element from doing all those quests and shooting the eye. So that was kind of, I guess, like a cool part of it. But
you went from 0 to like 5,000.
I'm hoping that I had 0 when I started. I'm hoping that the evacuation quest brings more. We know that we're going to get Traveler's Judgment from that. But we had this hope of a 6-man activity. Like I feel like there
is that like the sidearm, right?
The original gun that you get when you start Destiny 2.
Oh, so no, so it's not the sidearm.
Or not travel. Yeah, it's called Traveler's Judgment.
No, Traveler's Judgment's the sidearm.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Yeah, it's going to be an exotic version of that.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. Because I love Traveler's Judgment. That's my go-to.
Isn't it called Traveler's Judgment?
The energy weapon is
Traveler's Chosen.
Yeah. Traveler's Judgment's the sidearm.
Yeah, Traveler's Chosen. Sorry.
Yeah, from Season of Undying.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah. But anyway, yeah, I mean, I don't know. And we were hoping, actually, the whole time we were playing it, we were hoping that would unlock the 6-man activity that we know we're getting.
Do we know we're getting it at this point? Like,
well, no,
I feel like we're not.
They've confirmed, right? It's confirmed that we're getting... Correct, Jedi? That we're getting a 6-man activity this season?
I don't know that we're getting a 6-man activity. That would be news to me.
I could have sworn that it said that.
There was a leak.
Chat, what's up?
There was
Are we getting
leaks.
a 6-man activity?
Don't pull up the twat.
Before the season came out, that we were getting a 6-man activity. Remember, it was supposed to be like an Indiana Jones style activity.
Yeah.
But I mean, that was never confirmed. It was just a leak, and that could have then been removed.
Yeah, because I was also thinking about that. It would kind of be whack if they drop a 6-man activity and then it's getting taken away in a month.
Yeah, we're not getting it.
I think that would be kind of interesting.
Oh, I just hope in future seasons they get away. This is kind of a departure, but like a more kind of macro sentiment. I just want them to get away from the season pass model. Just don't think it fits Destiny. Like, I don't mind if they have like a trail that, kind of gives you a season pass and rewards engagement, but I don't feel like that works well for Destiny to be the primary source of rewards. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I always just think like grinding and giving yourself more chance and RNG kind of brings out that gambler's mentality, which is like what is the addicting part of playing Destiny is like
Yeah, the looting part.
that dopamine hit when you get a good reward, you know?
Yeah.
Instead of getting it all just from turning in bounties.
Yeah, like just a bounty grind.
Yeah.
Well, so I know, like, I know we're straying way off right now, but
Let's keep straying.
Keep straying, baby. Another good question, but I know they said that they were going to change it from the bounty stuff to more rewards from actual activity completion or more XP.
Yeah.
Did that go in this season or is that a fall?
I'm pretty sure that's fall.
That's a fall thing?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice. We got 21 in the chat, 22 in the chat. Say what's up, guys. Let us know you're out there. What's the Afrobob, Offsync, Nintendo? What's going on, Nintendo?
Nintendo Warrior, what's up, baby?
Gambit God, what's up, baby? How we living? Yeah,
Everyone put a wagon in the chat for Evolved Jedi.
Hey, honey.
Yeah, no, the 6-man activity, I think, is an evacuation-based activity. Afrobob.
Well, let's hope
Okay.
so.
Dude, that'd be sick.
We'll get another Vex offensive or something.
Yeah, that'd be
I
sick.
wouldn't be opposed, honestly.
Yeah.
And because we're gonna have to save people before the like that's what it said. We're gonna have to
Yeah, we're gonna
go
be
and save
we're gonna
people
be
from the
saving
planets
each
that are getting
individual.
destroyed.
We'll be saving Sloan, Asher, Brother Vance.
I hope. You think we'll
And,
get something tomorrow? A
whoever the other one is.
continuation of that preparation quest?
I think we're gonna get
each week
evacuation
we'll
tomorrow.
Get, like a next step. You
We'll
think
get
so?
Yeah, for sure.
Ooh. Okay. Hot takes.
You heard it here first, ladies and gentlemen.
All right. Moving on. We've definitely went over on that one, but
Yeah.
we live.
We're allowed to go over. It's our fucking show.
All right, moving on. Titles. So that was a good. I was surprised to actually see Dutch. Actually, guys, for everyone sitting at home, he does all the write-ups for the topics every week, and I kind of go through and just say yes or no. Most times yes, but
When have you ever said no?
I don't think I've ever said no. But I was surprised when I saw this on here, and it really got me. At first, we got a producer crawling under the camera right now, but I was surprised to see this on here. And Dutch basically wrote, "Why do people not go for titles?"
Yeah, so I figured since we were having Evolved Jedi on, he has every single
title machine.
Yeah, they call you the Truth Bender, but they should call you Evolved Jedi, first of his name, the Slayer of Titles. Okay.
Imagine if they had in the animations. You know what I'm talking about? If cutscenes. Sorry, imagine if the characters would say all of your
titles,
and all of his cutscenes were just
you couldn't even see the
30
screen.
minutes long. It's just like a Daenerys thing, in season 7.
I like that, yeah. First of his name.
Yeah.
Like in Daenerys' title just took forever, and then it was just
Keeper of the Virginity Seals.
Yeah. So we have Mr. Titles on. That's what we'll call you from now on, Mr. Title, Mr. Seal. So what are your thoughts on titles? Because you've seen those graphs before of it shows the percentages of the community that have them, and it's people who have Reckoner is 4% of the Destiny community, and you can see all those. What are your thoughts on those? Are they too hard? Are they too easy? Why are people not going for them? I mean, it seems like anybody, we go after them all the time, but then we have one of our friends, Ghost, who's
I don't give a fuck about
he's I don't care about titles, I just want the loot. So give us your take on those.
Well, I think that the cool thing about Destiny, right, is that people can play it however they want, right? There are some people who only play PvE. Some people who love Gambit. There are some people who only play PvP, right? Some people don't care about seals, and some people don't care about titles. But that's part of the challenge for Bungie is they have to craft a game that kind of engages everybody, right? So you guys know this. You guys are more of that. Active players than a lot of the player base. So how do you inject stuff into the game that's compelling for the top 1 or 2%, like the people that put the most hours into your game, versus the people that just log in and literally play 3 to 5 hours a week, right? Those people aren't going to be going for titles.
Yeah.
I would say that the difficulty of going for the average title for me is just right. I think they nailed the amount of effort that it takes. If you have a good team, you should be able to get most of the titles done. There's a little bit of RNG involved in some of them, etc. I don't think they should necessarily be easier or harder to get, but what I would like to see is to have something unique. Kind of think of D1. There was strike specific loot, title specific loot, an emote. It could be cosmetic, right? I'm not saying a game breaking weapon, for getting Reckoner or for getting Harbinger. Like something cool that goes along with the title. And
Like
people have brought
ornaments.
this up to Bungie before.
Shaders.
I just think that if you could link some loot to it, it would really set it apart too, to give you that emote, give you that sparrow, give you that ship that's like really cool looking or really interesting. Kind of add a little new wrinkle to the title chase. But overall, I think it's a good way for people to show, kind of mastery in a certain area of the game that they're interested in.
Clout chasing. Yeah, I 100% agree. I've never actually thought of that. That's fucking. Hope Bungie's watching. We know they watch every show. But, I mean, I completely agree.
Cool
That
emote
sounds,
or a shader or like you said,
dude,
a ship.
an ornament set would be dope. Like a Gambit ornament set that like, you know what I mean? Like had like a Gambit look to it. Like maybe it had like literally like the little coins he flips, just like chainmail made out.
And
How about this?
You were like, should I go for Reckoner before?
How about some shaders that? Go ahead.
Like Decon. I was
just gonna say, like, what if they added some shaders that like glowed?
Yeah,
I mean, like some different color combination. Like enlightened was like purple and yellow or something, and it added like a glow to your armor, like just to have like an exclusive shader.
Kind of like the trials.
That looks totally wild, right? That's like a loud, wild shader.
Yeah.
Like that would be awesome. Like every time you get like Dredgen would be some kind of green glowing shader or something.
Like the D1
something
Protoss
cool
raid.
like that, where people would be like, "Dude, I need that shader. Like I need the seal
We've said that too, just with like the cosmetics in general. I wish that they would go more like wild and more like, you know, poppy with it. Like a lot of the, like if you look at the shaders, 99% of them are just like never get used, and you wouldn't be able to tell if someone really had it on. Like you can't really look at people for the most part, you know, except for like maybe the all white ones from Trials or like Trials of the Nine, so like stuff like that. You can't really generally look at people and just be like, that's from whatever. Like,
Yeah, well, like we got the shader from completing the Crown of Sorrow, or not Crown of Sorrow, it's Garden of Salvation flawless, but like who
can't
would,
really tell.
who would
Like,
recognize that shader?
Yeah, and
ugly,
it's an
ugly shader.
If it was like more
Think
badass,
of like the kitty cat look in D1, right? Like for hunters, you know what I mean? Like you could see that from like the pink and blue, like
From Trials.
just was a sweet look. You know what I mean? Like having something like that, it could be applied to any armor piece, but had like a cool glow. I think that's just an idea, right? That's just guys talking about like something that would be cool.
Why don't they have
Bungie
that?
just has to implement it.
Because you played Destiny 1, right? You know that when they came out with the original Moments of Triumphs, they brought back all the old raids. Everyone had that Crota's end, like with the horns and all that shit coming off. Like, why do you think they don't have that in this game? Like, how hard is it to do that? And it was such a success in Destiny 1.
Well, you got to remember that came out when they were about to wrap the game, and they basically put everything back on the table to say, go and get all this stuff. And remember, they also made the elemental exotics,
Right.
Yep.
the raid exotics from the kinetic, the primary, I guess.
Yeah.
They did a good job bringing, like I'm saying, I give Bungie kudos for bringing those raids back the way they did, with some armor that was desirable, right? To your point, Doug. So like armor people wanted, the weapons people wanted, because they were some of the only ways in the last couple of years to get a primary that dealt elemental damage,
Vision
right?
of Confluence, baby.
And it comes back to like compelling rewards. It comes back to like loot that you actually want to go after.
Yeah, shit you care about, not just like some more trash. Like we've talked about that in like multiple cases. Just even like Season of the Undying, and like most of the like all the rewards are just like average at best, which I'm pumped for the sunsetting, because maybe it'll make those rewards more compelling when you don't have like your metas that are just never gonna leave your fucking inventory. But you know, a lot of times it just feels like, you know, yeah, you can go grind all those guns out, but like what, to put it in your vault?
Yeah.
Like I haven't touched a lot of those weapons, so I agree.
Yeah.
Like more compelling, like it's always, you know, that's always the topic. More compelling, like loot. It's all about the loot, as Thad would say.
Yeah, it's all about the loot, but when the loot's not replacing the best in slot, what's the point of chasing it?
Yeah. Or the soul system.
I do.
Remember everyone grinded that?
I do think there are a couple. Yeah. All right, I was just going to mention, I do think there are a couple seals that are like relatively easy to get compared to some other ones. So there is like definitely like a hierarchy of seals in terms of how difficult they are. So I think any avid player, semi-avid player, can say like, I want a seal and go for it. And I like that about them. And then I like that they kind of give the game a longer tail, where you're like, all right, I've done everything and there's nothing else to do, but I still like playing the game. I'm going to go after these other seals and these triumphs or whatever. So I do think it's positive to have something in the game like that that's just like that long grind.
Yeah. For instance, to your comment, like there was a lot of criticism last season that there was no content last season. I got 4 seals last season. Like, so
I had plenty to do.
I had plenty to do last season. Yeah, like there was such a content.
Season of the catch-up.
What's that?
We called it season of the catch-up.
Yeah, exactly. So.
And I still haven't caught up.
Yeah, I know. Still got more to do.
But yeah, no, I completely agree. All right, well, once again, way over on the time, but let's keep it rolling.
People are watching and people are loving it. So everyone, hit that like button.
Yeah, let's go. We got 22 watching and only 10 likes. That makes zero fucking sense to me.
I liked it. Did you?
All right, moving on. Moments of Triumphs came out. So pretty pumped about this. It's always a good time. And once again, talking about seals, stuff to grind. Always looking for more stuff to do. So, and they added back, obviously, as we talked about in the beginning, the Farmable Raids. I went in with a group from the clan, 6 beers deep, and we ran all 5 raids back to back, knocked them out in a couple hours, and it was a blast. Like, a lot of fun.
You guys struggled on Spire of Stars a little bit, I saw.
I literally had never done a Spire of Stars in my life, so sick. I had only done like 1 Eater in my life. I'd only done 1 Crown ever. Like, that was like the 9 months I didn't play, or whatever, like the year I didn't play, so it was, a lot of fun to get back in there and do some other stuff besides just farming garden. Like, I have like 50 runs there, and I only have like 60 total raids ever, and I have like 40 of them in garden.
Yeah, I just did my 51st garden last night.
Yeah, so, always dope.
Yeah, so what are your thoughts on the Moment of Triumphs? And we also have Summer Solstice right around the corner.
I liked the moments this season just because they weren't it wasn't like go make 10,000 solar orbs on the EDZ during public events, right? It's like
was that one
probably the most It was crazy a couple years ago. Like, it was just fucking brutal.
It was like go do every lost sector in the game
100 times.
So the fact that it's like, hey, go do these raids that are awesome content, right? Like, I think we can all agree that like raids are some of the best content in the game. Whether or not the loot is like relevant to the game is separate from what I'm talking about. I'm just saying, like, on its own, the raids are fun to play.
Yeah, it's a blast.
So encouraging people, giving them a reason to get back in the raids, I thought was awesome. Probably the most tedious moment of Triumph is like do 20 playlist strikes, right? And I can deal with that. It's like that, and play a few games of Gambit. So I didn't think it was that bad that they kind of made you go around the table, do some stuff you haven't done in a while. Hopefully help some people through some raids that maybe haven't done it or haven't done them in a while.
Yeah.
I thought this Moments of Triumph was was well done in terms of giving people stuff that isn't too tedious. But I'm always a supporter of getting people back in the raids because raids are where I feel like Destiny is at its strongest from a PvE standpoint. 6 people executing on some complex tasks and using a little bit of gun skill and like remaining calm and learning mechanics. I just think it brings out the best in the team and brings out the best in Destiny. So.
Yeah, and there's no better feeling than like completing a raid for your first to like. That's why we play the game.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I also think that this is kind of like, I don't know if it's maybe a way to get new light players into doing the old raids before they're sunsetted. Like, there's a lot of players that want to get that moment of Triumph seal, like we talked about how hard or easy seals are. They've never had a seal. What's the best way to get one? Get the Moments of Triumph seal right now. You have to complete all 5 old raids. You have to win 7 trials matches. Like you said earlier, do some strikes and some Gambit. So, I have some friends that have never done Spire, never done Eater, never done Crown. And
especially since Destiny became free to play, right? And that was,
and all those raids were irrelevant.
And like how many like people that are playing now have never done like those raids ever?
Probably 80% of the community.
Probably
I'm just making that up.
Probably more than that, I would guess, honestly.
Yeah.
So, how many people in chat right now? And honestly, the people in chat are probably like the higher end of the, if you're watching a Destiny live show, you're probably at the higher end of the player pool. Yeah. So, but how many people in chat alone have like not done it from that higher end? You know what I mean? Like, I was one of them. So, it's definitely dope. And I know like a bunch of people in my party were like, yeah, I've done these raids like 50 times, but I haven't done it in 2 years.
Dude, I went into Crown
Like-
2 nights ago, and it was the first time I had been in Crown in over a year, and I was like, literally, I was like, I remember how to do this, but like, I was fucking up, and I was like, oh shit, I'm supposed to like switch buffs here, you know?
Yeah, like running around.
Yeah.
With my head cut off.
Someone's like, I need someone to shoot the Void Crystal. I need buff on Void, buff on. I'm like, oh shit, where's Void? Oh yeah, it's over here.
Yeah. Let's see. It was great to walk down memory lane. Sarah, the raid master, apparently.
Is
Love
Sarah
it.
somebody that's in your clan, or someone you play with often?
Sarah's just a homie. She has her own clan, and she does raid carries and Sherpas and stuff like that. So that's her thing.
Oh,
Nice.
Yeah.
She's carried me through a few raids for sure.
Mad respect, Sarah. Mad respect.
She said it should have been more challenging, though. It totally should. Is she talking about?
She said it should have been more challenging to
The
get
moments?
the emblem. Like she said, it was too easy. You just went in and did 5 raids and then got the
Oh.
and got the
Yeah.
emblem.
Yeah. But, you know, it's
I
also...
wanted it to be
it's
probably
also
like 10
easier
raids
for us
per.
to say. It's easy for us to say with, like, good groups. Like, imagine trying to do that right now via the Destiny LFG. Like, with randoms.
Yeah, I haven't used Destiny LFG in months.
And, like, 90% of that player pool has never done the raids. Like, you're, like, sherping, like, Blueberry. Like, imagine how difficult it is for them. It's easy for us to say with our, like, hardcore, flawless raid teams. Like,
yeah,
But,
sure.
yeah.
Do you have a squad that
See
you
that
normally raid
Spire
with?
boss.
What'd you say?
Taking some blueberries through that Spire boss.
Oof.
Oh, yeah.
That's the fun one.
No way.
Yeah, dude, I was like running around with my head cut off. Like, I was just like, we were running
I did it with Gorzuth and like Sith Lord and all
all the
those
like low
dudes.
man
Yeah,
speed
yeah,
run boys
yeah,
that
yeah.
were just like, ah.
Yeah, they 2-man the raid and they're like carrying me through it.
Yeah, but
There's some great memes about Spire. It's like, what's so hard about this? You just have to get on plates, then get on symbols, and then stand in a row and throw the ball, and then like juggle balls, and then do damage. It's like,
yeah, go
Oh,
up.
let me tell you too. So I learned a new strat for that boss fight, and if you use Warcliff Coil on that boss fight,
Yeah, I
I
did
didn't
that as
know
well.
I didn't know that was a thing. But literally, like you just Warcliff Coil him, and then when he goes into his last stand, you don't even have to go and pick up those orbs and chuck them at
you
him.
just
You
keep
just
shooting
keep
Warcliff.
Warcliff coiling him. It's literally nutty.
that was even more broken when before they nerfed the auto loading mechanics. You could just stand there and just go like just fire your
oh,
Wardcliff
yeah,
off.
with
Lunafaction
Luna's.
boots.
And
Yeah.
he was dead. Like after everyone fired 2 Wardcliffs, it was over.
Yeah.
That's lit.
Yeah, that's such a sick strat.
Yeah, Spider had me in his backpack. Lit. Ace. Ace had some patience, I feel like. Like,
So who do
I
you-
was just like, Ace, tell me what to do.
Who do you raid with, Evolved Jedi? Who do you have a squad that you normally
Um,
play with?
we have a good grouping Shark team. There's usually, when I raid, there's usually 3 or 4 Shark team members in there. That's our clan that we've had since D1.
Yep.
Then I'll raid a lot with like Boolean's clan, Aberrancy. You guys probably know Boolean from Instagram.
Yep.
Whoever else, we have a lot of people like in our group. We're not like a snobby clan where we you need to raid with only people in the clan or anything like that. We're just a bunch of adults who like to play the game and don't really give a shit about any of that stuff. So
Yeah.
usually, we have a good base in our clan of people who do PvP and raids and PvE. So it's usually at least half will be Shark Team people. So
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's dope. Yeah, we're in a clan called Six Beers Deep that we just joined not too long ago. What, 2 months? Beginning of the season?
End of last season.
End of last season? Oh, yeah, because we got the... Oh, yeah, look at this bad boy.
Yeah, and they're cool. They don't like make you raid in clan, but they give you like in clan incentives to actually like if you raid with your clan mates, you get like event points and then you get like in clan titles. So that's kind of cool.
They have like lots of like... Yeah, they have like an in-clan triumph card, actually, which is super dope. It's like what this seal
oh, I
is.
should have brought mine today.
Yeah,
God
where's your
damn
seal
it.
at? But basically, they have like they set out like a list of like things that we have to do, and if you complete them all, so it's definitely like when we have like seasons, like you said, season of catch up, and there's not as much going on within the Destiny world. It gives you some more stuff to do. Like
Yeah, so we had to 2-man Callus in
in
all white gear.
They called it like white wedding.
Yeah.
So
One is go flawless in 45 minutes.
Yeah,
so it's
just like a bunch of different little things, and then so it's like more
That's
incentives
cool.
to play the game. So yeah, it's super cool. We just joined over there, so shout out there. That's a bunch of people in the chat, but that's who
All right.
we generally roll with.
You want to move on to the last topic, or no, not last topic. Damn, we're
I hope this beer's good. Yeah, does anyone want to let us know? Dutch says that it's not any good.
no, it's definitely not gonna be good, but we'll try it anyway. All
I,
right.
so we got that. It's a what did you call it?
It's a growler, or this is a crowler. A crowler. Excuse me.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, canned growler. Is that what that? Yeah, I'm an idiot. I just.
Yeah.
Love those. Good.
But it's like 2
It
months
says it
old.
right here. Drink fresh.
How long have you had it?
Like 2 months.
Yeah, it's definitely not gonna be good. But
So-
who knows? Maybe we'll be surprised.
I didn't know anybody. I thought I was like saving it.
Well, I think it needs to
Dutch is like, you're supposed to drink that like that week. We're in a clan. Our clan's called 6 Beers Deep, and I don't know how to fucking drink beer.
Do you guys want to try some? It's called mimosa.
It is really good.
I'll just try
Oh,
it.
dude,
I don't
someone
have
just said that I should have mimosa.
Yeah.
There you go.
We don't have glasses.
What's up, Godfrey?
Just try to sip.
All right, so let's move on to the next
Yeah,
subject
just have the rest of
while
that.
we're
Yeah.
doing the beer.
Last
Which-
topic.
No, we have 2 topics left.
No, 2 topics left, dude. We're fucking rolling. We got 22 in the chat. Say what's up. How's it going?
Oh, is that a sour beer?
Yeah, dude, isn't it
Oh,
bomb?
that's good as shit.
Told you it's fucking.
It's definitely still good.
God, I'm such a beast. All right, moving on. We've got the future of Destiny. So, we kind of just wanted to cover this and get your insights on this. We're
Yeah,
pretty.
we actually talk about this every once
Like
in a
every
while.
week.
Yeah, every week. But since you're here, it's definitely good to hear another person's perspective on it.
And just like not just the future, but the state of the game, what you'd like to see in general. I know we've kind of been covering that a lot on all the topics, but what are your thoughts right now with where we're at, and especially moving into year 4?
Oh, we could probably do a whole conversation on that, right? I think
got 3 minutes, go.
my thoughts are right. Like my thoughts in general are for the first time in a while. I'm actually excited. Like all my friends will tell you, like I wasn't even really excited when D2 was coming out because other than just being excited for more Destiny, like I didn't see anything in the roadmap that was like really amazing. I'm like, okay, so you're forcing us to play 4v4. Have like 3 or 4 planets, and it just felt like a big step back in terms of the amount of things to do.
For sure.
Obviously, Forsaken was a very strong content drop because there was so much added to the game, so much to do. But I feel I'm really excited about it a lot because they're adding a new element, which is like anytime they like kind of change the fabric of the game, I feel like that's a really interesting opportunity to shake some things up. So like have that like darkness element to go along with Void, Arc, and Solar. I mean that's a big deal, right? I mean all new supers, all new quests and ways to get that stuff. I think that's that's really interesting to go experience as players, right?
And an entirely new element type. In general. Yeah.
With stasis.
Yeah, so I think that's going to be really cool. Other than that, I'm liking that they got rid of skill based quite a bit. I think that's kind of breathed new life into just playing Crucible with the homies. In general, I guess I'm looking forward to some of the story arc that they have planned for the next couple of years. It seems like it's something that's going to keep escalating and be interesting from a story standpoint. So,
Are you a big,
overall,
Are you a big lore guy? Like, so I know obviously you chase all the triumphs and stuff, and we specifically are not the biggest, but we got like our lore master, the guy we go to all the time is Afrobob, and he could talk on it way more than we can. But people have been saying, although the content maybe has been lacking at parts of year 3, that the story has been by far the best Destiny lore that we've ever had. Can you speak to that at all, or?
I'm with you guys. I'm not a huge lore buff, but I do think it's cool and interesting. I stay on top of it because like you, I have some people in my clan that are really into that.
Yep.
But I do think it's cool that there's all these things that we've been hearing about since even Destiny 1 are like kind of starting to converge and come into some kind of a cohesive story.
Yep.
I definitely think the lore is cool in the game. I think everyone's kind of thought that for a while, that they'd like to see it more front and center instead of in Grimoire, like when you go back to E1. But
Couldn't agree more.
the story that's coming, like with Savathun and the pyramids, it does seem really cool.
Yeah.
And really interesting.
Yeah, dude.
So we'll have to
I
see
know-
what they do with it.
We've obviously got all of year 4, but I'm fucking just charged. Like, they announced the next 3 years, and the Witch, like, just the fucking Savathun year 5 is going to be, like,
We've already killed Oryx.
I'm fucking
We're gonna
pumped
kill
for that.
Savathun, and then we know that there's a third god
Yeah.
besides them. So there's a third.
But I'm just,
sibling.
like, pumped for, like, that year. Like, I know we still have all of year 4, and I'm, like, looking way too far ahead,
Exactly.
but
So
fucking Savathun, obviously, Dreaming City was like some of the best content I think we've ever gotten.
real quick before we move to the next subject, I did have a question because you did say something that kind of piqued my interest that I didn't think of until now. You said that you were happy with Destiny 1, and then you saw the roadmap for Destiny 2, where it almost seemed like a step back because they didn't have as many planets. Do you think that the removing or sunsetting of planets, do you think that they're kind of taking that same direction, or do you think that what are your thoughts on that, just real quick? Because
Oh, I don't see that personally. I don't see that as a parallel to vanilla D2. Just having planets removed. I understand where they're coming from on removing planets, and if the goal is ultimately to, curate better content and have it work better and not have to test it in so many environments, I think that's something that does make a lot of sense. You look at like vanilla D2. I think the biggest issues were, there was a participation medal. Like going back to rewards, like that was the problem with vanilla D2 is there was nothing that was hard to get. There was like nothing hard to chase after. With the exception of maybe some Leviathan stuff, but like the rewards weren't the only thing in the Leviathan was like the prestige armor, right? So like people were like, I'm good with just doing a regular and not having that glow. And like,
right, too, because
that was the hardest thing to get in the
D1,
game.
D1, the prestige gear got you that next light level or power boost. When Leviathan came out, the prestige gear just had a different,
Just cosmetic.
It didn't actually like boost your power to the next level, which was
Exactly.
yeah.
And it didn't even, it didn't even have the equivalent of what we'd have now with like gear score, where they could do stuff now if they ever reintroduce like prestige or hard mode, where they could make it so like the gear is guaranteed to drop like 63 aggregate gear score or higher, or 65 or higher. You know what I mean? Make it like actually where you're like, oh, damn, like I could use that for Crucible then, or I could use that for Trials, like to give you reasons to go in and get it and then bring it into other game modes.
And they kind of did that with Eater of Worlds and Spire Stars, like right towards the end of that first year, they made those prestige raids. But it would like each gun would only like you could only get 3 guns. Like the 3 guns would boost you up, and that was it. And
while we're talking about that, are you happy with the artifact system with the power, or what are your thoughts on the current like leveling that we're getting and like the kind of? I know a lot of people have been upset that every season, when the new season comes out, right, like we're getting new content, but really we're just going back, grinding the same exact powerful rewards, and just being forced to play old content to level up to the new thing, but we're not really getting, it's not like a new experience, you know what I mean? It feels repetitive. So what are your thoughts with the current system with that, and some things maybe that year 4 could bring to shed some light or bring some change?
It's tough, right? I understand that sentiment, and we're all a victim of it, where we, the new content comes out and you're like, all right, back to the grindstone. But it's difficult when that's all the stuff they have in the game, right? So I feel like there has to be a way to encourage people to play new stuff. And I think really what we're seeing with that goes back to the season pass comment I made earlier. I just think there needs to be more content in the game so that people are grinding new stuff.
Yeah.
Get the best, new content to get the best gear, to get the best guns and stuff like that. And I think basically the season pass has been a Band-Aid or kind of not having a ton of content on every drop, right? It's like busy doing stuff, but you're not really busy doing fun or unique or interesting things all the time.
And that's like, I know that was a big thing. Someone said that to me at a party the other day, and they were saying it's hard to get their friends to come back and play, or get new players to play, because they drop the trailers and they drop like the new dungeon, right? Like Prophecy came out and everyone's like, hell yeah, down to do some Prophecy. Like, everyone wants to hop in and play that, and you bring players back that maybe haven't played in a couple seasons or whatever. And even if you promote them, what do they have to do? They have to go grind for 40 hours to even get like the old shit that they were bored of, which is why they left. They have to go grind that for 40 hours before they can even go in, because it's 1060. You know what I mean? And then when you tell your friends that, or you tell old players that, they're like, yeah, I'm good. I don't need to like, fuck it. I'll go play Warzone, or I'll go play Fortnite, or I'll play, like, you know what I mean? You get that instant, like, new content on a lot of games.
10 hours of grinding, basically?
Dude, that's like if you're optimal. Like, if you're getting back into the game and you're not familiar,
you don't have bounty saved up.
Yeah, you're not like fucking, you know what I mean? You're like, like when you come back, it's like, a nightmare to try and like remember what you should be doing and all your bounties and where people are and you know what I mean, like.
It's overwhelming to some people.
Yeah, no, it definitely is. Dude, so I used to have 3 warlocks because, you know, that's my gang. But when they changed it, obviously you had to play the 3 for the different powerfuls and the pinnacles because you can't get it like on the same class or whatever. So I deleted it and I made new characters, like the different classes, and they're all new light players. And dude, it's a fucking pain in the ass to start a new light character. I can't go play activities. Like I can't play Gambit until you like go do the little bullshit, even though I already have like a main. And I think that's a big issue they have.
It's a huge issue because I've seen a lot of complaints on Reddit where new light players don't even really know what to do. Like there was a Reddit post where the guy was like, I tried a Nightfall for the first time. And he didn't know that it was like a regular Nightfall, not
he was in it by himself.
Yeah, it was not the ordeal. His post was, why do people keep leaving my Nightfall? And he didn't know that you had to go in with a team. It wasn't matchmade. So he was just like, some of the Nightfalls start out like in social spaces. So he could see people running around with him. And then when he would actually get into the zone, he thought they were leaving. And he was trying to solo Nightfalls by himself.
But dude, yeah, no. Like the first thing you do when you get new light is you run around to the tower, talk to literally every single vendor, and they all give you a new light quest. There's like 50,000 quests in my inventory. It's a pain, and you can't play the activity without doing them. Like I tried to do Gambit on my one character, and I haven't done the little beginning, so I tried to hop in a party to grind out the powerfuls like at the beginning of the season, and it was like, nope, you can't even hop into with Dutch and just play a standard game of Gambit. You can't even do that until you go through by yourself and play like the bullshit. Like, you know what I mean? It makes you do, like, one Gambit bounty.
Yeah, I mean, it's
like,
a delicate
like,
balance,
what?
though. Like, where's the...
I'm just saying, like, if it's a new light player, you need to ease them into it, not give them 50,000 quests and be like...
Yeah.
And they have to go do shit by themselves before they can play the team.
Maybe just give them one quest where it's like, play one Gambit match, run one strike. Like,
yeah, or, like, if they want to do it. Like, you know what I mean? Or especially, I don't understand why I have to do that. Why can't I just opt out of the new light experience and just put me into the game? Like, as a main. You know what I mean? Like, I have a main account. So, like... It's kind of whack, honestly, because it's confusing as fuck for me, and I know everything about Destiny. So I can't even imagine, like, your first time ever at the tower, no idea what Gambit is, or, like, that guy at the Nightfalls. Like, I don't know. Have you heard anything on that kind of stuff? Or I know we just kind of rambled about a bunch of different things, but...
I don't have the best perspective on the new light experience because I've been vested for a while, and I don't really play with many people who have joined via new light. So...
Yeah.
But I do think that at the end of the day, like it just has to be an enjoyable experience for people coming in, and it should have some kind of a path that says like this is where you should start, and kind of branch out from there, right? Yeah. So I don't know how exactly they do that, but I do think that's important to curate their experience at the beginning a little bit because it is dropping into like everything that we have now would be. I mean, I don't know how you make that not overwhelming, right? It is overwhelming.
It's a big game, yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Don't have the answers, but I don't know, dude. It's just, and even like we were saying before, just the 40 hours of old content before you could play the new content. Like what are your thoughts on that?
You think it's 40 hours?
Dude, for like a normal player, dude, like the dungeon, and because you got to assume that these players are not as good as us. The final encounter is 1060.
Yeah.
Like average Blueberry kids are not beating that final encounter.
It's not for them.
I'm just saying, like, but that's what people want to come back and play. And
yeah,
like,
I agree.
I mean, maybe not. The
and at the same time, though,
any kind of content. Like
at the same time, I don't think you do have to have some end game content, right? So a new content drop comes out, you have to have something for your top tier players, right? Whether that's the dungeon, and Master Nightfall, even Master Nightfall, Master Nightmare hunts, whatever things that are difficult to do, you have to have something for them. So I don't necessarily agree that every activity needs to be accessible by every player, within the first week they play.
Yeah, the dungeon
should be something that
dungeon,
the public events.
That dungeon basically saved this season, right? Without that dungeon, remember we complained last season about there being no dungeon or no.
What do you thought? No raid layer.
Yeah, so
what do you think
that
about that?
dungeon saved everything.
No extra raid, just Garden of Salvation for a full year. What do you know what I mean? When like no raid layers. What are your thoughts on that? That's got to change, huh? Sorry.
Well, I mean, I always want there to be more raids, right? I just am hoping that what we see in September is going to be kind of the first big content drop without Activision for these guys, and that they knock it out of the park.
Yeah, I agree. I hope so. All right, yeah, let's move on to the next topic. We're fucking rambling, but it's good to like get a second, perspective on this, and I think the audience is liking it. We got 25 in the chat. What's up? Yeah, so just let's talk about IG, Twitter. Like that's your bread and butter right now. Besides, obviously, outside of Destiny, you're huge on Instagram. Like, what are you at? 50 something? What's the count at?
Something like that. I don't know.
It's in the 50s, yeah. Big following.
Or around
I think
there.
the biggest I've seen on Instagram, even like MTash, I think is only at like 16. You know what I mean? Not much presence there. But we were talking about that and how like people, obviously there's a YouTube community, Twitch community, etc. And people before we started like the podcast and everything, like I didn't even really understand that there was an IG community.
I had no idea.
And how there were content creators on there, and it's a much smaller, almost more tight niche community, and there are just some badass players on there, like Grissom, for example, or Pyro. I mean,
Jacuzzi.
like just some beasts.
Pyro.
And what's your experience been on the IG and kind of just your take on it?
Nintendo Warrior.
Nintendo Warrior.
Well, I think that the Twitch guys and the big YouTube guys get most of the credit and most of the attention from Bungie, if not all of it, and rightfully so, right? They're the ones kind of creating interesting content and talking about different weapons and getting people hyped. But I do think that there's really cool community on Instagram and stuff like that that is pretty tight knit, where everyone kind of knows each other. The barrier to entry is really low. You can come in and just start making good content and have a couple hundred or 1,000 followers within. Right? It's not the investment like it is doing a full-fledged YouTube channel and being under the gun to put out 5 to 7 videos a week. I think it does have its place, and I do wish that Bungie kind of looked at the community a little bit differently and looked to them for a little more perspective, and certainly recognized the hype that it generates, because Instagram is a huge platform, obviously, in social media in general. Mm-hmm. So I feel like there are a lot of good people out there that are being good ambassadors for the game and kind of generating that groundswell of hype whenever there's content that's coming out or that just came out or whatever. I would like to see a little bit more recognition and engagement with that community. It seems like Bungie is really solely fixed on the large streamers, the main YouTube creators, and kind of their counterparts on Twitter, right? Yeah. So,
yeah, mostly Twitter.
Yeah, it's almost like they don't even know that community exists.
I tag them in everything, so they gotta fucking know. I tag them in everything, so I mean they gotta know. And I agree. Even like someone, I mean, have you ever had them respond to any of your posts or likes? Or I mean, someone of your stature at 50,000. You know what I mean? Someone at Bungie should be seeing that. You're getting tens of thousands of reach. You know what I mean? Reaching a huge market for them.
Yeah. What are your reaches like, if you don't mind me asking? Like,
it's funny. I run a personal account. I don't even have any metrics. I just post on there, and I don't really care what happens. No, I just do it for fun.
But the fact that they haven't even responded or liked, some of your stuff at any point is kind of concerning. That that is such a huge market, like you said, that they're kind of missing.
Yeah, especially for
me, if I was a community guy, I would be acknowledging that whole community out of the self-interest of the game, right? Because it's the best thing for Bungie and for their marketing, in my opinion, right? To get engaged with that community. Like, for instance, when
organic marketing,
I don't think I knew you guys at this point when D1 was closing out and D2 was coming out. We did a campaign with a couple of people to just basically like a month have like a theme for every day where someone would post something. So it'd be like your favorite achievement, favorite raid, your favorite screenshot, your favorite subclass. So we had like 30 topics for the month leading up to D2.
Oh, that's badass.
We had I think like 6,000 posts with, it was like My Destiny Legend is what we called it. 6,000, or maybe it might have even been like 50,000 posts, dude. It was some crazy number. Like all these people starting to engage with that and just really celebrating D1 as it was kind of going out and going into D2.
Yep.
and they never acknowledge it on Twitter. And I was like, I tweeted, Cosmo and Deej and those guys just to bring it to their attention. Like, hey, there's some cool stories in here. Like there's some people who are talking about like real stuff to them, that's like, we got them through a tough time or whatever, like people are like sharing these stories about it. And just, there was like no acknowledgement or anything. I wasn't doing it to like self-promote, doing it to really celebrate the game and kind of get the hype built on D2. So
was this week at Bungie a thing back then?
Yeah.
So like, I mean, I can't believe that wasn't.
Especially because
they do like video of the week, or
and
like
they do player showcases all the time, where it's like
some kind of acknowledgement for that. Like, especially if someone in chat just said, a bunch of people are saying in chat right now, Jess, Miss Wrist, they're like, I remember that, I did that, like, you know what I mean? So obviously, it was. I mean, I did not pretend. Like I said, I didn't even know IG existed for Destiny. It was like before I could like conceptually.
It was kind of like we were like, oh, let's see like what Instagram.
You weren't even on Instagram.
I didn't even have an Instagram.
But
and then we were like, let's go see what's on Instagram with Destiny, and it was just like this whole entire world
of people. So
clip hitters, people like you that chase seals and triumphs, and do all the end game activity. It's just this wild, crazy community.
Yeah.
Casual players that are just like out there, connecting with people, and it's all over the world. That's the thing that I've learned is like, literally, I've heard from people from probably 100 different countries. I mean, it's crazy.
Yeah,
like,
Dominius is out there. I forget where he's from, but I know he's from overseas somewhere.
We got a bunch of UK players and stuff like that. Like,
tons of UK players. We have several in our clan. Some of the best UK guys on Xbox.
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah, sick. All right, well, let's keep it moving. That's the rundown, and then we do a little segment called the Postmaster, where we let people ask any questions or whatever.
There's
so we got
three
a
Postmaster
few
comments that I see.
Go ahead, Dutch. Let them fly.
All right. So Gambit God asks, are you excited to be able to customize your stasis supers? We know that it's not going to be like fixed skill trees. There's going to be actual. They said not like D1, but it's going to be a different model that they're working on where you'll be able to like pick different skill talents or talent trees.
We're
are you excited?
Testing it on the new stasis.
Yeah. Are you excited for that?
I excited for it?
Yeah.
I loved the D1 skill trees compared to D2. Just the more like they push it to RPG, the better for me. I just like having more control, more customization, have it less of an action game and more of an RPG. Anything like that, I'm in.
Yeah, I've always been down for, like, I've been saying it since D1, like, we just need more skill trees, more ways to customize the way you play. I'd love to see them take the roles and, like we kind of have, like, the Dawnblade healer with the well, and then, you get your healing skills back, and you can throw your grenade down as a heal. Like, I'd love to see more of that, where almost, like, you need your healer in a raid to, like, get through this, like, whatever, mechanic or something like that. And the more ways that they can add in more skill trees and diversify the classes, I think is just great for the game.
I always thought it was a huge step backwards with the fixed talent trees or skill trees, whatever you call them, compared to D1. That was such a good model. So, I mean, it wasn't perfect, and it might never be perfect.
I'd like to see more. I'd like to see, like, 100 different options where you could, like, even if you were just speccing into, like, 5% extra recovery, or, like, you know what I mean? Just,
I'd
little...
like to see it where you have to have a tank, you have to have your DPS, you have to have your healer.
I think it'd be badass, yeah. I mean, I don't think it's ever going to go that because it is a shooter. At the end of the day, it's not a full-blown RPG. But, I mean, like, everyone's always going to be, like, it's always going to be, like, a gun-based. Like, everyone's going to be a DPS, you know what I mean? Yeah. But I think, if they could diversify that more, I don't see any reason why you wouldn't.
All right, so Duke
I will say the armor 2.0 has helped, right? To, like, give you a little bit more agency over your, and that's something to chase, right? Like, finding that perfect role that, like, if you're really into intellect and mobility or whatever, or, like, to look for armor that accentuates that. That was a step in the nice direction because you're kind of then looking for those stat values on every piece of armor you get. So I did think that went a little bit of the way to replace some of the traits that we had options on in D1.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on Charged with Light?
I mean, it's fine. I'm kind of lukewarm on the artifact stuff. It's fine. It's fun in PvP. You pick up an orb and you basically are doing kill clip until you kill someone. Fun.
It's disappointing to hear.
I'm a huge Charge of Light fan.
We're big mod fans.
Yeah.
I wish they had. I mean, the problem is they're just not really required. They definitely make the game a lot easier. And you know, they're like, we enjoy them.
Most people don't know about them though. Most people don't experiment with them. You know what I mean? Like that's the problem. You have to be the kind of nerd that's going to pull up a YouTube video, right? To figure out and right, like you said, the people watching this are probably at that level, right? But like your average dad who logs in and is just looking for a good pulse rifle to run, you know, strikes with or whatever, they don't even look at that stuff.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
Duke asked a question. You want to read Duke's question?
Duke Bigums. Let's see. Top 3 favorite raids / dungeons of all time. D1, D2. All right, we'll let Jedi go first.
Yep. Top 3 raid / raid dungeons.
Judging you.
Or raid layers. Judging.
Top 3. I'm not going to put them in an order. Top 3 for me would be, I could put them in order if you asked, but King's Fall is the best raid ever. And I would probably have Last Wish, and it'd be splitting hairs between Vaulted Glass and Wrath of the Machine for the 3rd spot.
That's pretty charged up. I mean, I don't know if it's biased because like I agree with you. Definitely like King's Fall
and Last Wish are definitely there.
I think Last Wish is probably the best raid that we've gotten from a content perspective, but it's hard because the D1s raids just have such like nostalgia. Like Vault of Glass alone is just like the great. Like when Vault of Glass came out, I was like, there's never been anything like this on a console. Like I've played World of Warcraft, right? So when we got Vault of Glass on Destiny and like Mike P didn't know what like mechanics were, or like, you know, a lot of Xbox players.
I played Halo, nothing but Halo.
If you hadn't played, you know, if you just played shooters, you don't understand what a mechanic is. What do you mean I have to like stand here, or I have to like, we all have to shoot this thing at the same, like it just, you have no idea. So like that nostalgia, I think, just bumps Vault of Glass like through the roof for me, because it's the first time.
Well, we're gonna be playing it in just a few months.
Can't fucking wait, and I hope they add like, I hope it's like altered a little bit with champions and things like that. Would be pretty badass.
It will be.
Yeah.
Vault was. You're right. It's you can't really be unbiased about Vault because if you played it when it first came out,
day one.
I agree. Vault was. I was a Halo player, right? And then I played Vault, and that was the thing that like hooked me on Destiny. Was doing that raid. I just had never.
Forever 29.
Never done World of Warcraft and stuff like that. So I had my like raid buddy who was like watching the YouTube videos and was like a World of Warcraft guy.
Yeah.
Like this is more World of Warcraft than Halo. So he's like telling us about the mechanics. I just, dude, my mind was like blown.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
And like
that's why just for nostalgia, and it's still a good raid too.
Yeah, but when I actually look at Vault of Glass, like technically it's not really like all that special. But besides the
it wasn't until they actually brought the challenge modes in at the end of Destiny 1 where like you had to every person had to shoot an oracle in the boss encounter, so you had 3 people go in, 3 people had to go into like reverse into the portals, and like everyone
besides
had to come
the
out
last encounter. I mean, the last encounter definitely got technical, but and like the maze was really cool. I loved that they had
the Gorgon maze.
Yeah, they had thought about like the jump puzzle aspect of it, or you know, not that one was very jumpy, but the whole like maze aspect of it. But like the one encounter, you just have to like shoot the shard whenever it spawns and like keep going, right? That was pretty much it. And like we were cheesing half of it. So like
yeah, the oracles, yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, from a technical standpoint, compared to like a King's Fall or a Last Wish, like
King's Fall, Last Wish, Wrath was good. I really like Garden, to be honest with you. I'm a huge fan of Garden, and honestly, I really like Scourge of the Past. As easy and quick as it is. I think
Scourge is just like
I'm a big.
It's too fast.
It's like a strike,
easy.
but
like,
yeah, it's fun.
Last Wish, I think. I mean, I didn't even play that when it came out, but I love Last Wish. Like mechanically, I don't think that they've put out a better raid than Last Wish.
Yeah.
I honestly like them all. Like we were just running these 5 raids, you know, this week or whatever. Like I like all of the raids and the raid layers. I think they're all good. But when you ask what are the top 3, I think it's hard to put a layer in there, right? It's just they're not as meaty as some of those raids. And
yeah,
I definitely think Last Wish is incredible. The 2 jump puzzles, like how long it was. Then you have, like I said, for my 3rd spot, I would have. It's hard for me to pick between Wrath, because Wrath is so fun and so action packed. Vogue, just because it is very well done. It has the relic and it has the nostalgia factor for sure.
Yeah, I agree. I'm right on par with you. I think
Cool.
we have
And last
more
question, I
question.
think.
off sync. What are your thoughts on trials right now pertaining to the carries, people using shotguns, mountaintops, and all other BS? So what are your thoughts on trials right now, basically?
And all the bullshit.
I think it's okay on console. I think the biggest issue with it right now is the player base. And I think the reason the player base is low because the rewards are not that amazing. And the people who are into the rewards have already gotten them, so they're out. I think that what would be really helpful would be some of the cosmetic stuff that we were talking about earlier, like the ornaments, like that flawless cat ornament from D1. Like everybody wanted that. Like everybody wanted and needed to have that, right? And the other thing would be adept weapons, right? Some kind of like
the scarab emblem too.
really
Remember the scarab emblem?
cool, yeah, and an emblem, right? Like just some stuff to get everybody to get back in the playlist more. The biggest thing for trials is they need to figure out their cheating situation on PC.
Yep.
That's the pinnacle experience, and right now it is. I mean, by all accounts on PC, it's basically unplayable. I think those are I think the core game mode itself, like the rules, the way it plays out, I think is relatively okay. I think our big issues are, obviously a couple sandbox changes would be nice, but that's kind of Crucible in general. Overall, I don't have a huge issue with the sandbox right now. I think it's a lot of things that are really viable. I think with Trials specifically, it's rewards, cheating on PC, which you fix those two things, you'll see the player base increase, and then that'll be a better experience for everybody.
Yeah, I
Couldn't agree more.
Yeah, I mean, spot on. And we know that they're addressing a lot of that, so I'm excited to see that. I mean, the cheating, I guess they can't. They're doing their best, I guess, but I mean, we're on console, thank the Lord. So
Yeah.
I don't think I've seen maybe a couple cheaters, but for the most part, you're not getting that on console.
Not really.
And we know that they're fixing the rewards.
We're getting adept
We're getting
guns.
adept weapons. I 100%. There needs to be more cosmetic stuff all around, like we talked about earlier. Raids, dungeons, like wherever you need to put it, there needs to be more incentive to chase cosmetics, like better ornaments, better like whatever you want to, whatever you want it to be.
Just they got to find the balance to get people, just volume of people in there. Like make it for, hey, 90% of you guys aren't going to make it to the lighthouse, but this is still going to be rewarding, and here's why.
Yeah.
Here's the stuff you're going to get that'll make it worth your time, whether it's pinnacles, some kind of weapon rolls or whatever, but just get in here and play it every weekend. We want you to play and improve and get better at the playlist.
And
that's what they need to figure out how to do
100%
that.
missing.
And as someone who, like, from my perspective, I went flawless once in D1. I went flawless once in Trials of the Nine. I only really started playing PvP maybe six months ago, maybe a year ago.
Heavily,
yeah. So like now we go flawless pretty much every week. The rewards need to be there, and I know what it's like to be on that lower end, where you're not going flawless every week and you're LFGing. Like it's
getting your
tough.
ass
It's
kicked.
tough and it's discouraging. But like in D1, at least you could get in-game rewards to drop at the end of a match. You could get that piece of armor. You could get that gun that you wanted would drop as an end-game reward. I think that would boost, and I think they are taking steps in the right direction by adding that participation package where you can unlock it and get the tier 3
yeah, but they
reward.
also fucked it where you don't get any tokens if you're.
Yeah.
Like, if you're losing games, you're getting nothing, which is so fucked.
Last weekend we played last Monday we went flawless on Monday. We played it took us 16 games to go flawless, and I literally was able to turn in 3 packages.
Yeah, and we're
like-
winning. Like, imagine if you weren't winning.
Yeah, it's kind of bullshit.
Yeah, so it's definitely
Exactly.
I
Yep.
think that was a step in the wrong direction for the lower.
And that shows some of the flaws with just the token system in D2. Like in general, like it's all token based. I don't know that tokens are perfect for every vendor.
We talked.
That's
about that.
that's another
We literally talked
conversation.
about that
That was a
last
full
week.
topic.
How it was such a broken system with tokens.
But
How your inventory's filled with tokens and there's nothing to do with them.
yeah,
But if you could just
us a-
refocus them
give us a-
into engrams.
give us a weekly quest, 1 per account, not character, for an adept weapon or random roll or something.
Now I don't agree. I think adept weapons should be for the higher end players. I don't think lower
yeah,
end
no, that
players
has
should
to
be
be
getting adept
flawless only.
weapons.
That has to be like that end tier.
Yeah.
But
That
as
is the
far as like
reward. That is the
generic
reward.
stuff, like like a summoner, like Captain
You're right.
Summoner for how long? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
There has to be something at the bottom level for engagement, and then there has to be some stuff that think of D1 like people just watching trial streamers, just waiting for a carry. Like they're like, I want that adept loot, I want that lighthouse clear so bad. I will like sit in these like. It was such a good ecosystem in D1 where people were supporting the streamers who were then able to like take them flawless, and it was this cycle, right, that kind of worked out well and had a nice balance.
Yeah, no doubt.
I don't know how you get that back. That I thought that was a nice way of doing it in D1.
Yeah, it supports the streamers who are promoting your game, and it's a way to give back.
Jedi's louder? Is that what you said? Well, thanks for telling us now, Nintendo. Literally at the end of the show after we've been rambling for a fucking hour.
All right, I'll whisper.
No, you're good.
No, you're straight. Cool, guys. Well, awesome, man. What do we got? Shared wisdom?
Yeah, I don't have any shared wisdom this week.
Okay. No shared wisdom for you guys. Cool. Well, yeah, you want to, so yeah, guys, if you guys are still here and still haven't checked it out, we got that Evolved Jedi on the show. Be sure to follow him on Instagram. He
I want to give a couple quick
Destiny content.
shout outs real quick. I don't think we've done shout outs in a couple weeks. So big shout out our clan, 6 Beers Deep. Duke Biggums, House Biggums on Instagram. He does
graphic design.
He does graphic design, so he's doing a lot of logos for people in our clan, in our community. He does all of our stream overlays. Afrobob, the lore master himself, Nintendo Warrior, big fan of his. He's one of our partners of ours. Tower Gaming, and of course, our guest today,
Evolved Jedi.
Evolved Jedi. Big shout out. And
Evolved
thank you so
Jedi.
much for coming on, man. It's been a fucking pleasure.
It's been a long time coming, guys.
Yeah, we talked about this months ago. I feel
literally
like.
when we had the original show.
Yeah,
going flawless. So, yeah, super dope.
Let's do it again sometime, guys.
Oh, we
Thanks.
definitely
no doubt.
will, man. We definitely will.
Enjoyed having you on. I think it's a lot more fun for the viewership too, to kind of get some different
I've had a lot of people watch
opinions
today.
and stuff go. Yeah, hell yeah. So super pumped. Thanks for coming on, my man. And we'll see you next time.
Yeah, we look forward to talking to you soon, man.
Yeah, hell yeah. And if anyone in chat
All right, guys.
wants to come on the show and thinks that you could deliver some good insights,
It's going to be hard to follow.
let us know. We'd love to have more people. If this is something you guys like, having people on the show, definitely let us know. Drop a like. Subscribe for more. Hit the bell. Caress that bell. Caress it. And then we'll see you guys next time. We out. Peace.
Peace.
Yeah, we're out for real. No,